Let's talk about Rambo 6, or should I say, the movie that refuses to die. Every time Stallone says he's done, Rambo somehow crawls back out of retirement, covered in mud, holding a knife, and ready to fight again. That's what makes this whole situation hilarious. Stallone hung up his headband after Rambo III in 1988. Then in 2008, guess who came back? That's right, Rambo, older and angrier. And just when we thought 2019's Rambo Last Blood was the end, here we are still talking about Rambo 6. Now, Stallone swears he's finished for real this time. He even joked about it at the Toronto International Film Festival. When someone asked about Rambo 6, the man looked straight at the camera and said, "What am I fighting, arthritis?" I have to respect that level of honesty. But let's be real, this is Stallone we're talking about. The man said goodbye to Rocky too, and somehow we got Creed. He's like that uncle who always says he's leaving the party, but 2 hours later he's still on the couch telling stories. Now people still believe Rambo will return. Fans refuse to let this franchise rest, and honestly, I get it. Rambo isn't just a character at this point, he's a legend, a symbol of 80s action movies, and probably the reason a whole generation thought tying a red bandana around your head made you invincible. The real drama, though, isn't even about the story, it's about the cast. If Stallone sticks to his word, which is a big if, who steps in as the new Rambo? That's where things get messy. Some people say John Cena could do it because, let's face it, the man already looks like he could punch through a tree. Others mention Alan Ritchson from Reacher, who's got the build and the scowl, and then there are the wild suggestions like Henry Cavill. Superman as Rambo? Now that's something I'd pay to see. Of course, replacing Stallone isn't just about muscles. Rambo is more than a guy with weapons. He's a walking storm cloud of trauma, regret, and survival instincts. Stallone brought a kind of broken sadness to Rambo that's hard to copy. Any new actor would have to find their own version of that, otherwise it's just cosplay with explosions. The craziest part is, even if Stallone doesn't return, Rambo 6 could still happen. Hollywood loves a reboot, and if there's money to be made, someone will find a way. Now, there are a few ways Rambo 6 could go. First option, we follow Old Man Rambo right after Last Blood. He's sitting in his bunker, looking sad, probably wondering if his horse has better mental health than he does. Then trouble finds him again. Maybe some bad guys come knocking, or maybe Rambo just decides to wander into a new fight because he's allergic to peace and quiet. This would basically be First Blood all over again, but with even more back pain. Option 2, the prequel. Now this could be gold. Young Rambo, still smiling, maybe even playing football, before Vietnam chews him up and spits him out. Stallone himself liked this idea. He wanted to show how an all-American golden boy turned into a human grenade. Honestly, that's a story I'd watch. You give me a young actor who can throw a punch and cry at the same time, and we've got something special. Hollywood doesn't care if Stallone is tired. Rambo is bigger than Stallone now. That's what happens when you create a character who can single-handedly take down armies and still have time to deliver a tragic monologue about how broken his soul is. Audiences still want more Rambo, even if Stallone himself is ready to fight arthritis instead of cartel bosses. But the money is probably on a full reboot. If Jack Ryan can survive being played by, 5 different guys, Rambo can handle a new face too. Someone like Adam Driver could actually work. The man already looks like he's got a 1,000-year stare, and if you throw Kurt Russell in there as the sheriff, you've got something with serious teeth. Stallone also floated the idea of a Rambo prequel series, think Band of Brothers, but with more knives and less teamwork. I actually like that idea. It's different enough to feel fresh, but still give fans that raw, brutal Rambo energy. Plus, Stallone could just produce and show up in flash forwards to scowl and say something cryptic. So what's my pick? I say go for a prequel. Give me young Rambo before the world breaks him. Show me the smiling kid who didn't know what was waiting for him in the jungle. That's the kind of tragedy that sticks with you. Plus, it leaves the door wide open for future movies if it works. And if it doesn't, well, at least we got to see Rambo smile one last time. But let's talk about Rambo Last Blood. The big question after watching it is simple. Is Rambo dead? And I'm here to tell you, nope. John Rambo is still breathing at the end of Last Blood. Barely, but breathing. I know what you're thinking. How? After all that carnage? After turning his farm into a DIY war zone and getting half his insides rearranged? Yep, it's messy, but somehow Rambo finds his way to his front porch, collapses into that rocking chair like it's his personal Medal of Honor, and starts having one of those deep inner monologues that only Rambo can pull off. He talks about needing to live, not for himself, but for everyone he's lost along the way. That's classic Rambo. He's not living because life is good. He's living because it's the only way to keep the memories of his fallen friends and family alive. And just when you think, all right, that's it, roll credits, he gets back on a horse. Yeah, seriously, bloodied, broken, probably held together with duct tape and pure spite, and this man rides off like Clint Eastwood's long-lost cousin. The message is loud and clear: Rambo's story ain't over. Now, if you've followed Rambo's journey since First Blood, you know this isn't just action for the sake of action. Rambo's whole life is a walking history lesson in American guilt, Vietnam trauma, and what happens when your country trains you to be a weapon, then throws you away like trash. Last Blood brings all that full circle. It's not just him fighting some random cartel, it's Vietnam all over again, just with different accents. See, Rambo's farm has tunnels under it. That's not just some cool prepper feature, that's Vietnam haunting him. The same way the Viet Cong used tunnels to ambush American soldiers, Rambo uses his own homemade tunnels to rip through these cartel guys like a ghost from the past. It's brutal, it's clever, and it's personal. If you ever wondered how much damage one angry veteran can do with a lifetime of nightmares and some spare time, Last Blood answers that. But here's the twist. Rambo doesn't go for the quick kill. That's not his style, especially not when it comes to Hugo, the big boss. Rambo could have ended it clean, but nope. He needs Hugo to feel every second of that pain. That's how you end up with one of the most ridiculous kills ever put on screen, ripping out a man's heart with his bare hands. It's part Mortal Kombat, part therapy session. And yeah, it costs Rambo too. By the end, he's leaking blood like a bad radiator. Whether it's Stallone, Cena, Richardson, or some complete surprise, that red bandana will find its way back to the big screen. The only question left is, how much chaos will come with it? But what do you think? Should Rambo 6 bring back Stallone one last time, or is it time to pass the torch? Drop your pick in the comments. Hit that like button if you want more action movie deep dives, and don't forget to subscribe for everything Rambo, Rocky, and beyond. The fight isn't over. See you next time.